Okay, this is the Yak 50, which is based on the Yak 1 stroke Yak 3, Yak 7 from 1942, the Stalingrad front, used as one of the top World War II fighters. Basically designed as an aerobatic aircraft, you can see from the shape of it. We've got a derivative here of it. It's been extended for range by having longer fuel tanks, big three-bladed prop, big smoke system in it, and you can see that the colours are slightly brighter for display flying. And if we come along to this side, you can see this is the aileron, which basically allows the aircraft to bank and roll. It's very, very large, taking over almost 3/4 of the wing. Very wide core, so it allows the aircraft to be very manoeuvrable and roll at about 280 to 300 degrees a second. Following round, looking at the propeller, we have a big three-bladed wide-chord propeller on there, which allows us to do gyroscopic manoeuvres. And it's a bit like a spinning top. If you've, as a kid, you used to press the big spinning top and it would spin and spin and spin, hold it in your hand, and you could twist your hand and the actual gyro would stay level. It's the same with the propeller. As it's turning, it actually tries to twist the aircraft so we can tumble the aeroplane on itself, which is called a longevak. And if you look at this aircraft here, this is Yak 3-3, you can see that it's got a serrated type of gill, which allows for cooling of the engine. And this is just one of our formation aircraft. But if we come over and look at number 6-1, this is our solo aircraft. So it's slightly lighter with a much higher power to weight ratio. And it has a gill system that allows a lot more cooling of the engine. So because it works harder, the engine tends to get quite a lot hotter. And also the propeller is wider to allow us to do more tumbling. Because it is the solo aircraft, we also have added onto the aileron, if we wander over here, you can see we've got some add-on bits. And these are called servos. And over here, they allow the aircraft to be able to roll a little bit more quickly, but it allows the pilot to be able to input the controls a lot more quickly. So this is why we use this one as the solo aerobatic aircraft. The Yak 50 has a semi-retractable type of undercarriage. If you look down, you can see it just rolls back and sits semi in the wing, so that in the event you land in a field because you have an engine problem, the wheels will keep turning. Obviously the propeller will be damaged, but you still will be able to land quite naturally. The engines on these aircraft are big Ivanchenko engines, 360 horsepower in the majority of the aircraft. The Yak 52 and this 50 here has a PF engine, which is a 400 horsepower engine, which gives it that more oomph. These are made in Russia. We have to get them overhauled every 500 hours, so it is quite expensive. But they're just fantastic engines, big 10-litre engines, and they sound just like a big old warbird. Okay, if we look inside the Yak 50, you can see it's completely different to the Yak 52, which is more the lead aircraft. This has been stripped of anything that we can possibly get out of it for weight. But you can see it's still got quite a lot in there which we need for display flying. Because we tend to go up and down the country so much, we're luckily sponsored by Garmin, and Garmin have given us big satellite navigation equipment systems that allows us to be able to navigate down to about 14 feet, which is brilliant when you're going up and down to Scotland in a day. The aircraft itself, you can see most of it's still written in Russian, so the pilots do have to get used to some of the instrumentation having curious figures on it. Also, we've got a harness inside, which is a hooker harness, which is a 7-point 23G harness, which means that it's very, very tight when we're doing the aerobatics. And there's a ratchet system on the left-hand side where you actually ratchet yourself back into the seat so your hips can't move. And that's the most important thing, especially when you're pulling a lot of G. The more G you pull, especially positive G, you want to try and keep the blood in the upper part of your body, in your torso. So having very tight areas around your hips means you will keep more blood up there. Because the aircraft are Russian, we do have to get specialist engineering done. We work very closely with Russian engineering at West London Aero Club, which is White Waltham Airfield. And Gena Pekoski is the chief engineer there, and he looks after all our engines. The two engines that we have are the Ivanchenko M14P and the Vederny M14PF. So having a Russian that actually understands the engines and all the systems is very important. And here we are now looking into the cockpit of the Yak 52. As we said, this is the lead aircraft of the team, so tends to have a bit more navigation equipment so we can enjoy flying when we're going some long distances. If you can actually get down and have a look, you'll see there is quite a lot of instrumentation that that we need. So if we do end up going through some bad weather, or we do find a place that we need to find out where we're going, we have some good mapping software and some good radar situation awareness as well using the transponder. This is the braking system. Looks like you'd have on your old push bike, and all you do by pulling in, it will actually put braking effect on both wheels, and then using the rudders will release one. So if you want to turn right, you put right rudder in, give it a squeeze, and you'll hear the air system. The majority of the way that this aircraft brakes is through the pneumatic system. That works also for the undercarriage as well. The undercarriage is lifted and also put down or raised and deployed by using an air system. The start system is also air, so very critical for this aircraft is the air system.